Greetings everybody, Fromark here once again with the Fromark Plays Show, and before I get on with my ramblings, I'll go ahead and let this opening cinematic explain what's going on here. Greetings everyone, Fromark here with the Fromark Plays Show, like I said about a minute ago. Anyway, this is Ristar, and this is a pretty neat little game that was developed by Sonic Team pretty much before it was Sonic Team, since it was built off the Sonic engine for the Sega Genesis, but the game was released in February of 1995 for the Sega Genesis, and, well, it's about the Star Dude, and you've seen what's going on in the opening cinematic there. The evil space tyrant Kaiser Greedy has taken over the Valdi system and its planets, and captured the legendary hero, and Ristar is the hero's son, so then technically Ristar is the hero in this game. But anyways, we gotta rescue his dad, and we gotta save the day. But this is a really neat game. Honestly, I really like it. It's got a lot of charm to it, and for the longest time I didn't really understand why it was on a lot of the Sonic Mega collections and Genesis collections, and whenever I first played it, it had to have been back around like 2007 when I unlocked it on Sonic Mega Collection for the GameCube. And I remember thinking, man, this is a little bit out of place for a Sonic collection. But after playing it enough, I kind of learned to appreciate this game and understand the charm and appeal of it. It's a very unique game, and it's a very unique platformer on the Sega Genesis. Unfortunately, this game did not get a bunch of hype and press and sales back in the day when it was originally released, so it kind of fell through the cracks. So really, all these appearances on Sonic collections kind of gave this game a second life, really. So you notice that Ristar can grab onto stuff, and he can headbutt walls, but he can also grab onto these star handles and fling around and fly off these things. It's really neat. This is a bonus round, and you can find these bonus rounds hidden throughout every single level in the game. I'm not going to show every single one of them off, but I will show a couple of them off. I know one of them I did this one good, one of them I screwed up and ran out of time, but sometimes these bonus rounds get kind of tricky, and I don't usually go out of my way to get them. And this is kind of like a little mini-boss almost. At the end of each, so each planet is made up of 3 stages. 1, 2, and the boss stage. And you got these star handles at the end of each stage, which allow you to get height bonuses depending on how high you can fling yourself up into the air. Kind of like the flagpoles in Mario 1. If you jump on the flagpole at a certain height, I think that's how it goes. I should know this. But anyways, on to round 1-2. And this is planet Flora, by the way. Known for its flora and its greenery. And it's really chill music. I love the music. The music for Ristar overall is some of the best music I've ever heard in a video game. And it just goes to kind of back my thing on how I feel about how sometimes a good game is enhanced by having an even better soundtrack. I wouldn't say the soundtrack's better than the game, but it is really good. All the tunes here slap. I recommend it. In fact, I recommend this game. I just flat out recommend this game 10 out of 10. One of my more favorite games, honestly. I don't feel like this game gets enough recognition, and it's a shame there were no sequels or really anything for Ristar made after this. I almost said Ristar. But I mean, I could catch myself saying both of those throughout the playthrough. So just bear with me, folks. I'm sure some of you say rice, some of you say ri. It's, I guess, whatever. Anyway. You gotta turn the lights back on here. Sometimes the lights will go out on the stage. And I believe those enemies there that I grab onto are called Orbots. You know, kind of like Orbot in Sonic Colors. But I don't really know much about the other enemy names. I know the boss names because they usually show up in the title cards, but... See... Ooh, that was a really crappy bonus. Anyway, on to the first boss arena. Rio. De Janeiro? Grande? Anyways, you got the sinister boss theme playing, and now the main boss music kicks in. See Ristar's idle animation when he sits there for a minute. He gets in the zone, he starts moving around, time to kick some butt. And there he goes, he's gonna... See, I'm pretty sure Rio is that thing that's latching on to that Guardian guy there. He's the guy who sent out the distress signal in the opening cinematic. But yeah, this boss battle's pretty easy, honestly. Some of the boss battles range from being very easy to being just absurd. But I'll fling this star handle and get out of Planet Flora, folks. See what awaits in round / Planet 2. And at the end of each planet, it'll show you your clear bonus, all the bonus points you rack up. And every 30,000 points, you get an extra life. So keep that in mind if you ever play this game. But we say goodbye to Planet Flora. Let's see what awaits in Planet 2, shall we, folks? Planet 2 being Planet Undertow. This is a water level. This is the game's water level. And yeah, I'm gonna go back for that piece of treasure. One thing I will point out about this game is there's all kinds of treasures and goodies hidden throughout the game. Those little treasure pieces, it depends on which ones you pick up that give you how many points. I'm pretty sure headbutting an enemy usually gives you 100 points regardless. And your health is your star system up there. There's 4 stars, that's your health system. You only get 4 at a time, which early prototypes showed it being 5. Which early prototypes of this game look kind of interesting to me. You got this, so the story of Ristar kind of ties into the story of Sonic a little bit. So I mentioned that the game was somewhat developed by Sonic Team before it was technically called Sonic Team. Just some of the people that ended up working on Nights into Dreams after this game, and some people who'd worked on Sonic games before this. This is pretty much Sonic Team. But anyways, one of the early designs for Sonic was a rabbit, and then that rabbit concept kind of got reused for a little while for Ristar's early prototype, and he was called Feel. And then they turned him into this ugly-looking, yellow-looking thing before he was properly the star he is now. And I'm pretty sure at one point he was supposed to be called Dexstar, as I'm pretty sure there's a prototype out there that shows that, unless that's just a ROM hack. Of course, I don't know if there are really any good ROM hacks of Ristar out there. I mean, there's tons of Sonic ROM hacks out there that are really good, but I've never really seen anybody do anything with Ristar. Since Sega hasn't done anything with them in 20 plus years, I'm kind of surprised the fans haven't went out and tried to do something. Well, actually, there is one thing they used Ristar for. He was the flagman in one of the Sonic and Sega All-Stars racing games. But other than that, he's pretty much just sat dormant since this game. You know, what kind of bonus can I get here? Ooh, okay, that's not bad, not bad. I'm pretty sure the best you can get's upwards of 21,000 points, but that one's really hard to get. Anyways, on to the Lost Palace. Let's see what's cooking in the Lost Palace. This is one of my favorite songs in the entire game. This is probably easily one of the best ones. It's just so chill, it fits the atmosphere really well. Just some good jams. Just look up the soundtrack sometime, folks. It's really good stuff. Another hidden piece of treasure there. Which you could say the same about the soundtrack in this game. It's a shame that a Sega Genesis cartridge, complete in box of this, will run you a high dollar if you want to buy it. At least at the time of recording this. The absurd retro console market that we live in, this game actually goes for about $400 for a complete in-box copy, depending on if it's like in near mint condition. Sometimes I've seen them go for more, sometimes I've seen them go for less, but that seems to be a good guesstimate, really. But then again, I mean, maybe it is fair because this game really didn't sell off the shelves like Sega probably hoped it would. But at this point, when they had released it, the Sega Saturn was on the way, and Sega was just... They were just kind of scrambling at that point. They had too many eggs in one basket, and they needed to let the Sega Genesis do its thing over here in the States for maybe another year or two before the Saturn made it over here. But then again, I don't know. Sure are a lot of interesting stories about Sega and the Saturn, and a lot of opinions that I have, and it's just some pretty neat stuff. I feel like if Sega had just done certain things differently, things would be totally different today. I don't really care much for these enemies here, these like snail enemy things, because they move at a weird grid angle and diagonally, and then you gotta deal with the boss one. And he's just like, oh, you almost had me. But then you just give this one 3 bonks. Bonk. It's gonna do that. Replenish that 4th star. It's a shame that I didn't get the 1-up out of one of those treasure chests. Sometimes it's randomized. You get a star, a 1-up, an enemy, and an extra life. Or no, 1-up is an extra life. I meant to say a piece of treasure. Just kind of stumbling all over my words again with this Ristar playthrough. Just trying to maneuver my way through this mess of snails and underwater madness for Planet Undertow. Those things are kind of weird. There's Aztec-looking whatever they're supposed to be, ancient-looking head statue thingies. And it looks like I might go after this bonus stage. Yeah. I think this is the one that I screwed up, because if I'm remembering right, I recorded this stuff a few weeks ago. Kind of been on a bit of a recording roll here lately, so I've just been recording a bunch of games and a bunch of stuff to post over here on the channel, trying to keep up with it, because sometimes I fall behind and don't get to upload as much as I'd like to over here. But now I've gotten into a nice groove, and I'm hoping I can keep that going for a little while. But yeah, one thing that this does in fact look like the one that I messed up. And it's just because sometimes I'm not very good at timing when I'm supposed to fling off of these star handles. These things are very, very unpredictable in my personal opinion. But yeah, after you make it to 20 seconds, it starts playing the music a little bit faster, and I mean, I gave it my best effort. The treasure's in the upper left corner. I almost had it a couple of times. I just said screw it. I'm out of time. Time up. I paused it there for a second because I was like, hey, and then I was like, oh crap, I might as well just keep rolling, keep it going. And I wasn't very happy with how that turned out, so I'm gonna try it again here. Fling off the handle, flying off the handle, but it's only enough for 200 points. That's just the way it goes sometimes. That's off to the Undertow boss, OSAT attack. OSAT! But it's the Hammerhead Shark enemy. And you've got to dodge his moves, his attacks. You just grab onto him, fling him into the direction of 4 different drain plugs that drain the water from the arena. You gotta watch out for him bonking his head off the rocks in the background. He'll throw those explosive jellyfish. But I don't think it's gonna be much of a threat, really. OSAT's not gonna be much of a problem here, folks. See, has more fish that he can throw at me. More exploding jellyfish. Man, this boss theme slaps. Wasn't until I put the headphones in to do this recording session that I realized how much bass is actually in this boss theme. It's good stuff. Just coming back through with that schoolo fish. Fishing, yeah, that's gonna do it, folks. Give him one more arm bonk, and then, yeah, that's gonna do it for Planet Undertow. Let's get the heck out of here. But yeah, overall things seem to be going pretty smooth, if I do say so myself. Planet Undertow is clear. Well, looks like still walked away with a decent amount of points. It was enough to get another extra life, so that's pretty dope. And now just gotta see what goes on in the next part, folks. It looks like Ristar's on his way now to Planet 3. And that will be Planet Scorch, but we'll get more into that in the next part. I'll see you then, folks.